Fox News alert, California Democrat Congressman Eric Swalwell hit this afternoon with a federal criminal referral for alleged mortgage and tax fraud. It reportedly related to his $1.2 million home in Washington that he claimed as his primary residence. He didn't waste any time hitting back, writing in a statement, "As the most vocal critic of Donald Trump over the last decade and as the only person still has a surviving lawsuit against him, the only thing I'm surprised about is that it took him this long to come after me. I refuse to live in fear in what was once the freest country in the world." We'll keep you updated as that story develops. Swalwell, though, is one of the guys who tried to keep the government closed. Too bad it's open. The Democrats now are losing it on each other. They seem to be imploding. That's a robot falling on its face, but after the shutdown, that's about what's happening with Democrats as well, falling flat on their faces. It's understandable. They're furious over the whole thing. What they thought was a strategy was just bad policy. Even so, a little embarrassing is the way that they reacted on the House floor. They also have lost all faith in their colleagues. Democrat Connecticut Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro telling Politico the Senate says they will have a vote on the subsidies. Do I trust any of them? Hell no. Meantime, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says it's time to challenge Senate Democrats.
This problem is bigger than one person, and it actually is bigger than the minority leader in the Senate. And my hope is that people across this country actually participate in their primary elections in selecting their leadership. Thank you.
You really answered the question.
Her progressive colleagues are a little more on the nose, a little more straightforward.
I think we're in an unprecedented moment that, demands that we consider whether or not it's the time for new leadership.
I think people understand what a betrayal this is tonight.
Do you think the Senate Democrats need a new leader?
Yes, you do, but that's not in my hands.
And it's not just coming from House members.
We need more effective leadership. That also means that the caucus has to decide for itself that we're not going to continue to break apart like this. We all have to hold each other accountable.
It's comical. It's even predictable as we continue to hear about it that if you don't fall in line, you're fair game. On, and by the way, offline.
The Republicans have been very kind to me from the beginning. Even from the beginning when Bobby was running as a Democrat, they weren't mean.
No.
And they never have been.
No.
And I can't say that for the Democrats.
The difference is, the right would say really rough things and names. Some names I won't repeat on TV, but the on the left it was like they want me to die or that we're cheering for your next stroke.
Jeez. I wonder what they're saying on Blue Sky today. News broke today that Fetterman was hospitalized after a fall near his home. Now, a spokesperson is sharing the senator is doing well and receiving routine observation at the hospital, and we here wish him a speedy recovery. But it's not just Democrat lawmakers. What is going on with their staffers? Like this member of Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth's office, appearing to pose as a lawyer in an attempt to free an illegal immigrant from ICE custody. The DHS posting the video on X saying this Duckworth staff member allegedly claimed to be the lawyer of a 40-year-old illegal immigrant who had been deported to Mexico 4 times and had DUI conviction in order to seek his release from custody. He accomplished this by falsifying an official Department of Homeland Security form. We look forward to a response from Senator Duckworth. And then there's former chief of staff to California Governor Gavin Newsom, Dana Williamson, who was arrested by the FBI in a political corruption case. She's facing 23 counts, including bank and wire fraud and conspiracy to defraud the United States and obstruction of justice. Williamson left the Newsom administration last year, begging the question, what did he know and when did he know it? According to Politico, Newsom had known for a month that Williamson had been questioned by the FBI. She informed him in November. He immediately placed her on leave, and she officially left the administration in December. So 1 Democratic staffer. Okay, 2 Democratic staffers. Your eyebrows start to raise. 3? Over to New York. A former top aide for Governors Hochul and Cuomo is on trial after being accused of working with the Chinese Communist Party. Is this now the moment for Democrats? As they have to purge their staffs, are they looking to purge themselves? Is it their Tea Party moment? Well, the voters are split between what they want, a progressive populist or a pragmatic vision of the party's future. Is this the Tea Party moment for Democrats?
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.